Okay, so the next problem we're going to be looking at is number 22. 55,000 grams is how many quarts? A lot of these problems you're never going to see in real life. They are so wacky and so far out there that if you can solve them, then you can tackle pretty much any metric problem that comes your way. But some of these are a little ridiculous. You won't ever have to convert grams to quarts. I don't think you'll ever have to convert milligrams to deciliters either. These are just really wacky, far out there questions that really test your ability to use your dimensional analysis skills. So this is number 22. Let me make sure that that is what it says in the PowerPoint. 55,000 grams to quarts. Okay. Okay, I can see right off the bat that this is another weird one. We're going from mass to liquid volume. If we write out our mnemonic device, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, ... micro, ... nano. And then we're going to write out the other weird conversion factor. 1 gram of water, pure water, is equal to 1 milliliter of pure water is equal to 1 cubic centimeter. Okay. And if you can see the pathway that we're going to take, might take a little bit of practice, but we're going to start with grams, and I'm going to go to milliliters, using this one right here, again. And then from milliliters to liters, using our metric prefixes, our mnemonic device, and then from liters to quarts. And because of this conversion factor here, your answer may vary because these numbers get rounded off, and so it can change the answer, which is why Professor Fofi is not that picky about the answer if you're off by a few decimal places, or not decimal places, but decimal points in terms of like hundredths of a point or something like that, or thousandths of a point. He won't be that picky. So 1 liter is 1.06 quarts. And 1 quart, I think, is 0.95 liters. Is that right? Let's take a look here. 1 liter, 1.06 quarts. 1 quart, 0.95 liters. Okay. Because those numbers are rounded off, these are not precise numbers. The answers can vary depending on which conversion factor you use. This is the easiest one for me to remember. So this is the one I tend to use, but I can show you how your answer can be different if you use the other conversion factor. So let's start with grams, 55,000 grams over 1, because there's no denominator. And we're going to multiply that, let's see, grams on the bottom, milliliters on top, just like we wrote out here. And another one, we need to get rid of milliliters, we don't want that, and convert it to liters. I'll do it again to get rid of liters, because we don't want that, we want quarts. That's going to give us how many quarts? Let me do it again, just because I know I'm going to do it twice, just to show you how to do it with these two different conversion factors. 5,000 grams. How many milliliters? Liters and milliliters. Quart, liters. So I just copied, this is the exact same problem. I'm going to do it twice. The first time I'll use this top conversion factor here, and then again I'll use, the second time I'll use the second conversion factor. They should get you about the same answer, but it's not always exact. So let's fill this in. We know, thanks to this conversion factor here, if we're dealing with pure water, that 1 gram is equal to 1 milliliter. There are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. I know that. off the top of my head, but if you don't, you can take 1 liter, which is a base unit, and count 1, 2, 3 decimal places to the right. And you know that 1,000 milliliters can fit into 1 liter. And then using this conversion factor, which you just have to memorize, we'll use the top one first. 1 liter is equal to 1.06 quarts. Now we'll multiply and solve. 55,000 times 1.06 divided by 1,000. 58.3. Okay, so that is the answer I got for the first one, and let me see here. 58.3. Okay, so that is also the answer here, I believe. Number 22? Yes, 58.3 quarts. Now let me show you, let's see if the answer varies if we use this conversion factor instead. So we're going to fill it out in much the same way. 1 milliliter, 1 gram, that's the same. 1 liter, 1,000 milliliters, that's the same. But here we're going to take 1 quart and 0.95 liters and see if that changes our number at all. 55, oops. Let's do the denominator first. 950. So we're going to divide 55,000 by 950. So 55,000 divided by 950 is 57.89. Which, if you round it up, you could round up to 57.9 or 58.0, but that's pretty close to 58.3. So again, I don't think that Professor Fofi will dock points if you're close enough to tenths of a point or hundredths of a point or thousandths of a point. If you're off by that much, he knows that rounding off these conversion factors will result in numbers that vary by that much. Okay, so that's how you solve that one. Let's move on to the next question.